Hey guys, Chris from Provo Beast Audio Installation, and in today's video we're going to be installing a backup camera on this 2006 Toyota Prius. Now in this install, we're going to show you how to integrate that backup camera to an existing aftermarket radio. Let's get started. So the camera that we're using for today's install is this license plate mountable camera. It also comes with a big wiring harness as well. The camera simply plugs into this plug here. It has a video output that you connect to your radio's camera input, and has a power harness with power and ground, which we'll need to connect as well. Now, within this harness itself, it's going to have some sort of trigger wire. Usually this trigger wire is this little red lead that hangs off. Our Prius doesn't have a smart harness, so this will provide the 12-volt trigger to cycle the radio over to go into reverse mode as soon as it sees 12 volts over this red wire, and it pulls it from the reverse light positive. So at this point, let's head to the car to start pulling panels off, and we're going to show you how to make all these connections in your car today. Alright, so let's go ahead and start off by removing these panels. Using a panel tool, there's 5 clips on the back of that panel. There's a couple of clips on this side here. We're going to pop off the left side, driver's side as well, a couple of clips. And then finally, the whole top can come off, all held on with clips. Once we do that, there's going to be 4 10mm nuts holding on this panel that we're going to remove. Let's go ahead and remove those 4 10mm nuts. Once those 4 are totally disconnected, the rest of our license plate trim panel is held on with clips. We can give it a little tug, it should pop on out. There's 2 clips there on the back, and that should give us the access to need to run our wiring. Now there's going to be a license plate light grommet that we're going to pass our wire through there. We're going to make a little slit in that grommet so we can pass that wire easily into the underside of our hatch. We've got a camera mounted. We fish that wire through that grommet. There's a grommet that we just put a little slice into. So we fed our wire through there. So it still maintains the seal without compromising the grommet much, but we can still pass our wire through. Comes down, makes our connection, and then we grounded our camera to the factory ground. Grounds on Toyotas are white with a black stripe, so we grounded our camera just right there. And then our power wire that'll have to go to the reverse light positive runs down with our video wire, zip tying it all the way down. We need to go through this grommet. We got to work our way to the reverse light here, and this is where we'll connect for a positive wire, and then the video wire will, once it goes down, it'll go forward to go to the aftermarket radio there in the dash cavity. So next thing we need to do is start fishing wire through the Alright, so next here, let's go ahead and use our notorious metal hanger. We fished that first through the rubber boot here, then we taped our video wire and trigger wire to it, and we're going to pull it on through here. Now, do yourself a favor and lube that up with a ton of soap and water. Go ahead and pull all your slack through that boot there. And then at this point, once that's done, you can go ahead and reseat both ends. They should clip back into place as they were originally here. Now we're going to pull down the weather seal. We're going to fish our wire into the cabin up underneath the headliner here. Both the video and the trigger wire. Pull the slack on through like we did before. And then again, reseat your grommet on the other side. So that now completes that loop there. Next, we need to pull up our weather stripping here so we can pull down the headliner and run our wiring towards the reverse light here. Once you've done and ran it all the way down to the light area, go ahead and reseat your weather seal. Alright, so we finished running our wire down the factory loom here, zip tying it through. We fished it through that rubber grommet. Again, use lots of soap and water. Once you pass it on through into the headliner here, we pulled up the weather stripping, ran it all the way down the weather stripping. Then we popped open our little access panel to the reverse light bulb. We pulled our video wire as well as our trigger wire through that hole. So with our wire now run there, we can go ahead and start reassembling all our trim panel pieces and our main panel here. The license plate camera is now mounted. We just have to reinstall the plate. We're really done here in the hatch. Just like that, our panels are all reinstalled just in reverse order. Got them all back on there. Ran our wiring all the way down. Now here at the reverse light, popped out the bulb and out of the housing. This red with the blue stripe is our power wire, which we need to connect our red trigger wire to, or the red power wire of our harness. We just soldered on there. You can also use a T-tap if you don't want to solder. And then for the video wire, that runs on down We're running along the trunk area towards the front of the car. Now let's continue running our video wire forward. We popped our panels off just enough where we can slip our video wire up underneath those kick panels as we run it forward there. Once we run it forward, we're going to slip it underneath the B-pillar panel as well. Again, just using the tuck method because that's going to be the easiest without fully removing the panel. Go ahead and reinstall your panels. Alright, so we finished tucking it there, finished tucking it underneath the B-pillar cover. Go ahead and pop your kick panel off. Once you fish the wire up underneath the B-pillar, go ahead and run that wire along the factory kick. And then the corner kick too, we're going to go ahead and pop that on off just to give us a little bit more space to run it back behind that panel. Okay, so we fished that wire up over the carpet there and we fished it into the dash. Now obviously the radio's been removed, but we'll talk about here in a moment how to get that pulled on out. Alright, so we got our backup camera video wire and trigger wire here into the dash. Now this will go to the trigger wire input on the back of the radio, and this goes to the video wire input, or the RCA input on the back of the radio as well. Now, obviously here, you didn't see us remove the dash. We covered that in great depth in our first video where we installed the aftermarket radio that's going in this Prius. So, if you want to see how we removed the dash, that video will be linked in the description as well as having a card up above. So at this point, let's go ahead and make our connections. We have the harness that goes to our brand new radio that we've put together on the bench in the previous video. And what we need to do is get this connected to the radio. Okay, so we made those connections. Now let's go ahead and get the radio back in. Alright, so we got the radio all back in. Everything has been reassembled here. Let's go ahead and do a final test. Let's get the radio booted on up. Once the radio boots on up, everything is triggered by the reverse light. So let's go ahead and put the transmission here in reverse. Should automatically pull up the image. There it is there. Hatch is open, that's why we're looking at the garage door. But when we pull it out of reverse, it should automatically cycle back to our previous source. That's about it for this install video. Like I said, we'll show you and link the video for the radio install in the description. We'll link our favorite cameras in the description of the video as well at your convenience. Be sure to hit the like button if you like what you saw, and don't forget to subscribe. We post great content on the channel all the time. We'll see you in the next video.